Okay, welcome all of you. So in this video, we'll talk about the smart bandages. So in various other videos also, we talk about various smart things like smart clothing, smart dressings, and we already talk about the smart dressing now. So these smart dressings, now we talk about the smart bandages, and we already mentioned about the smart dressing. So you can watch that videos. So but and the same question I raise over there, because smart tracing is a bigger thing if we can do that thing in the bandages form. So definitely this research is not this is not exactly what I thought of, but it is somehow a further good step in that, in form of the smart bandages. So what these smart bandages can do, they can detect the infections, and they can detect the infection in a wounds. Because see, wounds recovery is happening whenever, when if it is devoid of any kind of infection, then wound recovery may happen very early. If there is infection, there is a delay in that. This is the first thing. So and how they detect, so actually the bandage they invented, they designed that bandage, those bandages having carbon nanotubes, and those carbon nanotubes which able to detect hydrogen peroxide. Now what is the role of hydrogen peroxide? So hydrogen peroxide is released by macrophages, and these macrophages release hydrogen peroxide only when they detect bacteria, okay, or when it can detect any kind of infection. So macrophage, whenever our own macrophage detect any bacteria, any infection, it releases hydrogen peroxide. Actually it is a kind of alarming signals to, like, to to destroy such kind of infections, to such kind of bacteria. So they release that, and that release of hydrogen peroxide can be detected by these carbon nanotubes, specific carbon nanotubes. Yeah, this is a fine, this is a good, but after this carbon nanotube, once it absorb, once it detect the hydrogen peroxide, there is no very simplest and visual way of detections. There is a spectrometer needed to detect whether these carbon nanotubes detected such hydrogen peroxide or not. But only thing is that those spectrometer can be designed in a variable form, because we need to detect only that particular thing. If we're talking about the as an spectrometer, that is bigger machines, but those bigger machines having the various capability. But if you need to design such a spectrometer which can detect only that thing only, like the carbon nanotubes with hydrogen peroxide, then definitely we don't need such a bigger machine. We can miniaturize those kind of spectrometer. So what they are suggesting, like, they have such kind of variable devices, and these variable devices detect such kind of hydrogen peroxide combined carbon nanotubes, and then even this signal can be transferred to all your smart devices like laptop, tablet, mobile and all, and then you able to understand, okay, such kind of infection is happen or not. So in that way they discovered. But what is the good, what is the future for this? Like, if we able to see such kind of detection in a visual form without adding any kind of variable devices, the way we are seeing these things in smart dressings, because smart dressing, the fluorescence is happening with your wound pH. So if your wound is not healing, then it is an alkaline form, and it giving you fluorescence in presence of you. Again, that is a one limitation, but those limitations not a bigger limitations. Like, we need UV light to see those kind of fluorescence. But here in the smartwatch, like here in the smart bandages, we need a completely miniaturized device, like a spectrometer device, which can detect such kind of combinations. So that is the one of the major limitation, but still this is the one step where people have put to measure, to have such kind of smart bandages. So it is a good for us. And yeah, so that is the one limitation which I talk. And another one, like, if there is a kind of brutal injuries or major injuries, traumatic injuries, then if we design any kind of bandages in a bigger form, then whether those things are able to do such kind of detections or not. So that is another concern, because in a traumatic injuries or in a brutal injuries, is injuries already leads so many damages. So having any kind of devices which can, what we can say, which can prevent or which can detect the infection at an earlier stage, so we can prevent further more destruction or further more deteriorations on that particular injuries. So yeah, so this is two things which I feel like where we we can take this kind of research further, or where the scientists can take this kind of research further, advancement, development, and optimizations. But yeah, and just one thing, this research has been done in MIT US. So yeah, so it is a great research and good research. So that's all about, and if you need further discussion and explanation on that, just DM me. We will see how we can proceed, and we will meet in another video with some different topics. So till then, bye, take care.